Hey, I'm Rich. I build stuff, and this is part 22 of the Mamoli Lexington build playlist. I say that 20 times fast, but everybody else can. But anyways, so yeah, a bit of a change in how I film these. Normally what I would do is intro section, time-lapse of several hours of work, which gets repetitive because some steps you do again and again and again. And then a little outro minute. Well, this time what I'm going to do is just film all of those repetitive things once and try to get a good look at what's going on. And edit from there and try to keep this brief. So without further ado, let's get to it. I got these here, and what I'll do is I'll just hold this. And I'll take this and I'll just recut this kind of groove that you don't quite see in this block.
Yay, time-lapse cutting!
So, the other reason I make these cuts isn't just to, make it so they exist at all, but because there's this little, deformation or something in the wood I find, I just want to get rid of it, have things go a little cleaner. Alright, so another question presents itself. How am I going to put these onto the parts of that plan that they call for, make it look, natural, not have a bunch of just rope hanging around? My answer is let's make some fake eyelets, sort of fake. Cut that there. Just roll that along. Okay, so first there's that. Just to straighten that out. Pinch that together ever so slightly. Good. And last and not least, can I? Yes. And just to think, eyelet. Now I'm just going to cut this end down a little further so it isn't so deep that it's just crazy. And there we go. One eyelet for one pulley. Okay, since it's all pretty much in the shot. So here's how I secure these pulleys to their respective ropes. I put a little dab of super glue in this little channel here, right? That's going to hold the string in so I can kind of manipulate it all into position. I leave a little bit, about 1 inch worth, that's what these squares are, I think, is 1 inch, of rope, and then I just use these fine tweezers to kind of manipulate it into position. Get it in there and press it in. And just kind of keep it secure there. Come on, there we go. I'll breathe on it. Just Wait, didn't I say this was a bad thing at some point because it's called crazing? But there we go. That is held in place. Now I can do the same with the other side. Actually, since I actually have some ability to manipulate this now rather than have it all come apart.
And just to save us all some tying up, here's some more time lapse.
Come on. Forgive me, I'm just gonna lick that off camera. Thread an actual needle of sorts here. Come on. Hey! I'm sending a lot more in-depth editing in my future, but I think we'll all like the result a lot more. Oh, come on. There you go. Perfect. Boom. Done. Nice. Amazing. Oh yeah, no, I still got some of that there. Now, I just super glue this. And that'll work. Now, actually what I should do is I should do the super glue, let it set, and then remove those. Yeah, that's probably the best. If we're soaking these knots, what would have been best is if I kept the loose, really free-flowing stuff for my glue. Alrighty, and one, right there, cut. And a two, and cut. In goes the drill, right into this top one. Correct. And once the drill goes in, then so too does the thing, which I already sized this. This should be just about right. Okay. This thing getting caught in the rigging would be incredibly dangerous. It is, yeah, at this point it could really wreck everything. I should have done that before. Should have, like, really what I should have done, or what the kit should have done, I said, oh, hey, we're going to put on all the, pulleys beforehand. That would have saved me time now. But, you know what? You live, you'll learn. And this has been a good learning experience. There we go. I think we got a good bit of good glob there. There we go. Come on. Now, we go in the hole and we stay there. Here we are. I'll let that dry and then that'll be ready. Alright. Alright. So I hooked up the this line. It's gonna mount my gaff hopefully on one end. The other end I'm gonna go ahead and do the super glue trick. So as you'll see, maybe I think we should be. Oh yeah, we're there. So that kind of area thing where I've plotted my super glue on. I'm just gonna soak some of it on. I'm just gonna do this. What that does, it gets the super glue in there. The reaction of my fingers makes it harden, and then you have a line with its own built-in needle.
And then time-lapsed is me threading that needle thread thing through a bunch of pulleys and through the, I think this is the gaff it goes through first. Yeah, I figure it's just rope moving around. I can get away with going really fast with that. I mean, you can tell me if I don't. Alrighty, and a bit of super glue to reinforce things and a bit of tightening.
Okay, so while that's sitting there, I will reinforce it with super glue and then call this a night. Anywho, here we are. And yeah, I'm not going to really get that nice, but hey, learned a little lesson. And again, it's not nearly as critical as you'd think, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're actually relying on this to be a pulley. You're not.
And there we go. And as you can see, now I'm mounting the boom in position as well.
Excellent. And perfect. Now I'm just going to dab some super glue right there. That'll keep that held down. And that's that. And that's just one more little puzzle solved. With all that noise, people wonder why I stay down here.
Okay, enough griping about kids getting too noisy sometimes. Now I'm just making some pulleys with some fittings, and I end up attaching the fittings, putting the rope through, etc., so on and so forth. And these are to secure the boom to each side area, I think, is how that works. You'll see it in a moment.
Boom. Alright, so I did this last one up like how I'm about to. Start by dipping just the teeniest bit, if I can, of this. Here we are. A little bit of the glue there. Hold this piece here in the right orientation. In this case, it's these are further away from the little hook guy here, and then stick it right on there. A little bit of glue on each side, like normal, and then I can go ahead and put this around and make preparations to put this on it.
And then I go ahead, I start putting glue in the grooves and tying things off, and making, once again, a pulley with an eyelet on one end and a little ring in the other. That'll serve as both a hooking point and as a thing that goes into something to act to secure the pulley.
Now you have both these ends handled. Try not to hit this thing too hard. Really at all, so I get a good view as I slip this through first.
And slip through I do. And then I slip it through that double pulley, and then you'll see me desperately trying to get it onto those belaying pins, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm taking a lot of creative license with these belaying pins because they're just such a royal pain in the neck at this small scale and everything else, and everything to reach through everything. I'm really wishing I'd done rigging differently.
Alright, so I've pre-done these two up. Yeah, I'm just going to break out the super glue and hit those real quick.
There we go. And then I hit the pulleys, make sure everything's good, and then these are going on through the gaff. These are securing the gaff, you'll see.
Awesome. So as you can see, these are there, these are there. These guys get to go to their belaying pins. And that's this thing looking pretty close to fully rigged up. Awesome. Alright, time to tie these down to their belaying pins, which is a thing you've already seen. So as you can see, me using my hand as a shade here, I made a bunch of these little like eyelets and ring guys here off camera just to save everybody some repetition. You'll even see I got some over here that are particularly keen-eyed of you. There, make that a little easier and pull the shiny glary things away. So yeah, this is going to go on the bowsprit, because those two guys are right there. And then I will be able to put the thing up here. Yeah, so there's this right here, and then there's this right above that block. And that translates to about there for like the double block that gets tied to this, and then there for like the point where I tie to the rope. And that'll let me go ahead and actually make this whole thing look right. So I'll have the two pieces here that'll connect to these, and I think, is that the let's see, and yeah, those would be the ones that go back, and then there's the other ones. So these double up guys go through here, so the double up guys go through there into the double block and down, and these guys, it goes from the eyelet through this back through the pulley block and then down. So that's how those work, and that's what I'm going to try and do. And then we're going to call this filming session good, and I'll go edit this and make it pretty. Hooray. Alright, so here's these guys. I hooked them up, and I think this is the easiest one to do this with. So, this is going to go. Alright, yeah, I also did the thing with the super glue to get these to be more like needles to go through easier. Didn't work so good there, but this little end flared out, so I can just take this end off without it going in my eye. Hopefully this will have a better time. Come on, get in there. Come on, there we go. Alright, should probably have just used this. It's a lot easier to manipulate it, even if I've got the space to use my fingers. Alright.
And there we go, the last time lapse of this. Just to show you again me rigging things through pulleys.
Alright. Hopefully I managed to edit that to be reasonably quick. I was actually surprised at the amount of footage I was still able to take, despite, you know, being, shall we say, a bit less repetitive. That's right, so there's your, there's the gaff, there's the boom in between these that go the gaff sail. You can see how that's all rigged up. We've also rigged up the bowsprit. So now this actually has all those nice connections and what have you. Again, I'm Rich and I build stuff, and this is the part where I guess I'll leave you with the YouTube dance of like, share, subscribe, hooray! Peace out!